Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another Legendary Luke video. This video is going to be 25 more absolutely fire Legendary Luke tips and tricks. I've compiled this video with things that the average Apex Legends player probably doesn't know, but are still useful enough to be used on a day-to-day basis. So none of that insanely simple space to jump, R to reload stuff here. This video is only filled with the most quality content, and logically watching it through will make you a 25 times better player. So to kick this video off, I thought it would only be right to start with some new movement tech, courtesy of Moki and the boys over at Apex Rollouts. I am referring to the technique of punch boosting. Punch boosting is pretty much where you punch the ground while you're going down a hill to gain tons of momentum. It's super easy to learn, and once you do, you will be moving around the map faster than a wraith main can click return to lobby. To do it, you crouch, look down, press your backwards input, and punch. You'll start to go faster and faster, especially when you chain the punch boosts together. So you'll also have to start timing when you're punching. The only requirement for punch boosting is that the object you're punching is higher than your body. This makes things like punch boosting off of small objects and boxes possible. You can chain it with wall jumps, slides, and pretty much anything to give you a little extra momentum. Since water is also technically considered to be higher than your body, you can use punch boosting to travel through the rivers or water that's found on the map. It works the exact same way as it normally does. Just crouch, press your backwards input, and punch. The last tip with punch boosting is that you can actually do it off Octane jump pads. If there's any walls or objects near you when you take the pad, you can punch off of them and redirect without using your double jump. In the last update, the devs added an option to change reticle colors for PC players. This allows you to customize your reticle into something that is easier to see than the classic red one. However, it is only available for PC players. But don't worry console and controller, I have a special settings tip just for you guys later on in the video. So if you are on PC and you did decide to change your reticle color, all you have to do is open up settings and you'll find the option there. They have a few preset color options already if you want to use those, or you can click customize to choose your own. Steam launch options also works to change reticle color, and you can use this feature to copy a streamer's reticle color or find a custom one from somewhere else. If nothing else, I would definitely recommend playing around and finding one that's right for you. Just a quick fact to keep in mind, neon green/yellow is the most noticeable color to the human eye. So tip number 5 is a fuse trick, where you can get your ultimate to cover huge areas. What you do is you throw a grenade into the air and then use your ult so it explodes on it. That way it falls, covering a much larger area. A great way to use this trick is to use it on a building that you're fighting inside of. You'll cover it completely and get literal wall hacks on the people inside. Tip number 6 relates to the new Gibby bubble trick going around. Sen Lu used it in one of his streams and it's become popular ever since. What it is if you're playing on Gibby while holding a door, you can throw your dome on your side of the building, but the far side of the dome will come out to block the door and the opponent will not be able to kick it in. Definitely useful if you're low HP or just trying to get away. But on this channel, I don't only share tricks, I also share how to counter them. If someone pulls off this little move on you in game, all you have to do is crouch under their dome and then melee. Trick number 7 is an insane way to counter Gibraltar. If you've ever watched pros or streamers play, you may have seen them counting out loud. If you count to 10 from the time an opposing player throws down a Gibraltar bubble, you can throw nades on the bubble and right as the bubble falls, they will explode. This is insanely overpowered if you pull it off because your opponents have no time to react. So if you want to outplay a Gibraltar or a Gibraltar team, the next time he throws his dome, count to 10 and throw nades on top of it. Trick number 8 and the last Gibraltar related trick on this list is one I learned from Seafly. If you find yourself in a bubble fight as Gibraltar or playing against one, you can melee the opponent out of the bubble. In bubble fights, you're usually weaving in and out of the bubble, which can make getting shots off difficult. Using your melee will not only lock onto the opponent, but it will also knock them back outside of the bubble. This makes it so you are now the one in control of the fight, because you control the bubble and the cover. The opponent will be stranded out in the open, and you can get free shots off on them. All of the good bubble fighters I know of use this trick, and if you're someone that already knows the basics of bubble fighting, I would definitely recommend you practice this to take your bubble fighting to the next level. So we all know that thermites break down doors, and if there's someone hiding on the other side of that door, it will also burn them. But did you also know you can throw a frag grenade or arc star through the crack at the top or bottom of the door? It has been known for quite a while that you can throw a grenade through the bottom of the door, but sadly it's about as reliable as consistently hitting shots with the wingman. The new trick is to squeak a nade through the top of the door and get an easy kill on someone holding you. I also threw in another door trick because I thought this one would be super useful for you guys to know. Usually when you're on a door, it will say E and then open, or if you're on controller, your interact bind and then open. However, if you're holding a door and an enemy is on the other side, it might, instead of open, say close. If the door says close, you know that you can step back and it will swing open towards you. This is super great for getting free shots on an unsuspecting enemy. Now I know we all hate dying to caustics.
Remarkable. Simply remarkable.
And you probably also knew that you can shoot the base of a caustic barrel to destroy it without releasing gas. But what you maybe didn't know is that when a barrel is first destroyed, you can shoot it anywhere to destroy it. Trick number 12 is another caustic related tip. This one is a little more fun and a little less known about. You can actually hide inside of a caustic barrel. All you have to do is crouch, look straight down, and then throw the barrel without moving. It will then grow to its full size, but you will still be enclosed inside of it. The funny part is you can still shoot, but you can also be shot, so be careful when using this. Tip number 13 is an easy way to keep track of Loba ults. We all know that one Loba who always picks up her black market before her team gets a chance to use it. If you don't want to be that Loba, tell your teammates to punch the black market only once after they're finished using it. The third punch will destroy the market so no other team can use it. If you play Loba or just play on a team with Loba, this is definitely something you have to start doing. It's an easy way to keep track and make sure everyone gets loot. Trick number 14 is how to charge your rampage while running. We all know that your movement speed is slower than the Apex Legends dev team dropping a new LTM when you charge the rampage up. If you want to avoid that pesky slow, what you have to do is just be running already in a straight line, and while you are in the air, slap that hot dog in there and keep running at full speed. Just remember, you'll still be sprinting, but you can't change directions or that will cancel it. Definitely a useful one when your team's trying to push, but you still need to charge your rampage. Trick number 15 is probably the broadest one on this list, but I did try to narrow it down a little bit. Throughout Apex Legends, there are ledges and alternate ways of climbing buildings that do not include the classic stairway or zipline. If you start to learn where these routes are and how to look for them, you can get up buildings in unconventional ways. Take the fragment buildings for example. The main streamer building has about 4 different ways you can climb up it and get to the top without using the stairs or zip lines. They just involve a little bit of creativity and knowing what to look for. Also included in this are windows and windowsills. Buildings throughout the map actually have super small windowsills that you can use to stand on and shoot through. So the tip for this one is that you should always be looking for alternate angles and ways to push a building, because I guarantee you they are there. If you've ever wondered why people throw holo sprays on the front of their Trident when they're driving around, it's actually for a good reason. By placing a holo spray on top of a Trident before you use it, it will let you know later on when someone is looking at you. A notification will pop up that says blank has liked your holo spray, and at that point you should probably get out, or at the very least you know there's someone there. Going hand in hand with the last trick is trick number 17. When you're using a Trident, it can often be useful to throw things on the Trident like a Gibraltar bubble. All you have to do is walk up to the Trident and throw it right on the hood. You can do the same thing with heat shields if you're trying to rotate through zone. However, one thing is different about this and using other things like the bubble. When you attach the heat shields to the Trident, you have to do it in a different way. You have to look at the bottom of the Trident and throw the heat shields anywhere near the bottom front. Just throwing it on the hood will not work. So if you're trying to rotate a long ways out of zone, this trick might save you. Trick number 18 makes you look like a really good player when you use it, and is also part of being a good teammate. If you just fought a team and one of your teammates went down, and your other teammate decides to res, here's what you should do. You should drop your armor on the floor right next to the teammate being revived, and get an armor swap from one of the boxes. That way, your teammate that just got revived and will be low HP can instantly grab the armor and not be one shot. It's also great to avoid third parties or if there's a sniper team looking at you, so that your teammate will not just die immediately after being rezzed. If you're someone that struggles predicting where the ring will go, this trick is for you. Basically, if the ring moved in one direction, it will continue to move in that direction. For example, if ring 1 moved north, ring 2 is probably going to pull north as well. It's not a hard fast rule, but in general, you can use this trick to decide where you should rotate and where the next zone will be. Some people can even know where the zone will end just by seeing ring number 2. Alright, so sadly we are on the home stretch with only 5 tricks left to go. Luckily, all of these are absolute bangers. If you didn't know, the game actually tells you if you're in zone or not. When you look on the minimap and the outline of the ring is blinking, that means you are outside of the ring and the zone will tick you, or if you stay at that position, the ring will end up hitting you. If that line is solid, however, that means that the current position you're at, you will be safe there. This is one of those tricks that maybe seems a little bit overrated, but it's saved me so many times. It's especially good for when you're ratting. And also you can check before the ring moves in what is playable in the next ring. So if you're not sure if a piece of cover or a position you want to play will be in when the ring actually closes, you can just go to that spot and check by using this method. Remember, on the minimap, blinking means you're out of the ring and solid means you're in the ring. Tip number 21 is just another one of those simple settings tips that you gotta make sure you do. Under settings, locate the option that says taking damage will close death box. You want to make sure that this setting is set to off. The reason for this is armor swapping. If you go for an armor swap in a fight, you do not want your death box just closing because someone shoots you. That'll make it almost impossible for you to actually swap shields and will lead you to deaths if you leave this setting on. So please don't pull a taxi 2G, do something dumb, and actually turn this setting off. Tip number 21 was the settings tip I promised all you controller players earlier in the video. If you've ever been in an intense 1v1, go to reload and end up reviving your teammate, then you know the pain. Since your reload bind is probably bound to the same thing as your interact, which does things like revive and open doors, this gets in the way. The problem is, if you go to reload but you're near a door or a down teammate, the game doesn't know which action you want to perform. The setting that can help with this is called hold to use, tap to reload. It can be found, of course, in settings under the controller tab, and it makes it so that you can reload on doors and next to down teammates. Number 23 is a trick you can use to get faster melee speeds. The simple explanation is that jump kicking is faster than just regular punching. If you're in that intense Jake Paul, Nate Robinson 1v1, make sure you're pulling off those karate kicks to get the upper hand. Trick number 24 is another pretty simple one, but definitely something everyone should know. And it is that you will get quicker reload times when you don't completely shoot out your mag. That means as long as there is one or more bullets in your magazine, when you go to reload, it will be faster than completely draining your mag. I would recommend getting into the habit of not shooting out all of your bullets unless your opponent is one shot. Number 24 is definitely something you should keep in mind. Quicker reload times when you don't completely shoot out your magazine. Alright, on to number 25, which is one of my favorites. I saved the best for last. This is a trick you would probably use when you're holding an area or camping in a building, maybe with a caustic or a Watson. If there's a door near to your position that maybe you want to keep an eye on or want to make sure when someone comes through it you know, what you can do is ping the door and actually be able to see it through walls. Then all you have to do is keep an eye on it, and if you see it open, you know there's people near. Alright guys, that was Legendary Luke's 25 tips and tricks that will instantly make you a better player. If you watched the video through thus far, congratulations, you are now a better player. It's all about that game sense. If you guys enjoyed it or just learned something new, I would love it if you could smash that like button and subscribe. If there's anything more you want to see from me, drop a comment down below. I really hope you enjoyed the video and thank you for watching.